Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Duckstories. It's Telenor's platform that celebrates entrepreneurial and professional failures. Today, I have a very special guest with me here today, Sara. She's the founder of Wasssl, a serial entrepreneur, a community builder, a podcaster, and a keynote speaker, and many other things. Really excited to have her here because her story spans from Morocco to Paris to Pakistan in Lahore. And we're really excited to hear about all her entrepreneurial journeys today. So thank you so much for being here today, Sara.
Good to be here this morning.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, and I really am excited to host you today on Duckstories. Before I start the conversation, I really just want the audience to get to know a bit more about you. So if you can share a very short, brief intro about who you are and your life journey.
Sure. So Sara ZRI Malvi. I'm actually born Moroccan. I spent the first 22 years in Morocco. Parents, studies like any person in the world, and then spent another 10 years in France, in Paris, where I finished my engineering school and worked for 5 years in corporate and then 5 more years as an entrepreneur. And in 2024, I was deciding like, where should I go next? Because I've done it all. I'm a person that gets bored a little bit too fast. So after 10 years, I know it's all how it works in France and a little bit in Europe. And that's where I was like, okay, maybe let's move to Pakistan. But I'll tell you the story later. It's like I didn't just jump to Pakistan, but it's been like now 1.5 years been in Lahore.
Yeah. No, and I actually, when I got to know that you're in Pakistan, and of course you're in just this 1 year, you've been doing a lot of work in Pakistan as well. I really wanted to host you on this podcast and know what's that journey been like. So really excited to have
a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah. I want to know first, like the first question in my mind is, throughout your life, of course, you've been an engineer, you've studied engineering, you are an entrepreneur, you've done multiple things. Have you ever in your life wondered if there's more than one path for you?
When I was young, actually, to be honest, as a child, I was always thinking that I want to explore my full potential as Sara in this lifetime, at least. And to be honest, I've been seeing all the success stories of cousins, friends, kids of friends and stuff, that people has to follow a certain path to be successful. So I think it's same in Pakistan. So you have to be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer to be perceived successful.
Yeah.
So I kind of get on this trap because you want to please your parents, you want to please the family, you want to please people around you. But at some point I was like, okay, maybe one day I'll explore something else once I check these boxes. That was the thing. But I was like trying to be diplomatic with my desires and also my parents and family desires for me, let's say.
So because you've been in Morocco and Paris and MENA region and all of this space, was there this desire to get to know people from different cultures that came later on, or was this an early curiosity?
Actually, we are very big travelers since I was very young with my parents. We traveled across all Morocco, and even Morocco is like very diverse as a country. Even it's like we are much smaller than Pakistan, but the north of Morocco is not the center, it's not the south. It's like very diverse in terms of landscape, in terms of even way of living, a little bit cultural differences also across the country. So I had this instilled with my parents. It's like really traveling, exploring, meeting people. So it was something that they were grown up with. And to be honest with you, I was so excited when I quit Morocco the first time to really be able to discover. For me, it was like discovering the world. So I moved to France in 2015. And it was for me like a new chapter opening, because I was having all Europe opening up to me.
Absolutely.
To be able to travel around. And I remember even I just arrived, I checked in the campus of my school. And I even didn't have a bank account, neither a card, nothing. I just traveled 1 week to Lisbon straight away with just like some cash. I was so like thirsty of like exploration and discovering, as you said, like cultures, people, heritage of different countries. So it's something that really, and I still have in it. Sometimes I even suffer from it because like it's too much. So like, let's just calm down. You don't have to move around a lot.
And what drew you to, so I'm really curious to know what drew you to, like you did say it was probably parents' pressure, but what drew you to the world of engineering? Was there a knack for it or any interest?
Actually, I was good in math and physics, to be honest. So engineering was kind of very obvious path to choose. And as I told you, there's like kind of unconscious choice that you think you are choosing, but you're not.
Yeah.
That I was hearing my parents, mashallah, this girl has done engineering, blah, blah, blah. Or this boy has done engineering, like of their friends' kids. And unconsciously, I think as a kid, when you are 15, 16, 17, you have this registered in your mind somewhere, like, okay, to please my parents and to be perceived successful, let's say, I need to go to that path. So for me, it's a mix of both. That's why engineering, and that's why I choose industrial engineering to be as wide as possible, because I didn't want to specify to mechanical or electrical or stuff. And I love problem solving also. So that's for me the main thing why I was like, okay, it's like it was the least risky choice, let's say. And industrial engineering is very wide, so you can do very different things in your career, like from supply chain to manufacturing to international trading or whatever. So it was like for me very wide. I didn't want to engage to something very narrow.
And you completed your education in Paris by 2016, 17?
2016, exactly. 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
2016. So I was 23.
Okay, wow. And what was the plan then? Like, what did you feel like doing? Because I can just imagine a young girl in France.
Yeah. Actually, I think my situation was a little bit like all the the foreigner who are in a country. So you need to work the first year to get your documents, residency card, blah, blah, blah. So it's a kind of for constraints, but it's not that bad. I mean, at some point you want to have your first salary. You are excited to have your first job contract. So I started, my first job was in a nuclear plant.
Okay, wow.
Because I wasn't having that chance to do it in Morocco. We have no nuclear plant in Morocco. So it was a nuclear plant because I was a little bit obsessed with the nuclear physics. So I worked for almost 9-10 months with the biggest provider of electricity in France and Europe. It's called EDF. And I enjoyed it. It was a first great experience, to be honest, like hands-on the corporate life.
Yeah.
Then I moved to automotive industry with Renault, mainly manufacturing and project management of the industrial plants. And then once I got stabilized, again, I mean, this curiosity of discovering the words came back. And I took 6 months off backpacking Southeast Asia.
Oh, wow.
So I just took like one flight, Paris, Kuala Lumpur, and traveled like to more than 10 countries.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 25 or 30 cities for 6 months. My parents went crazy. They didn't imagine that I would just resign and leave a job, because the other generation, they were like just kind of very keen on having just that job contract and just take it and never leave it and have what were you looking for? I mean, like, you have a salary, you have this, you have that, you have like a contract that's with a big company. What you want?
Yeah, I'm just curious, what made you let go of that security and safety and just throw yourself?
I'm a risk taker. I'm a risk taker. For me, life, I mean, and I will tell this to all the young people watching us, I mean, life is an adventure. You need to live it fully. You need to go. You need to dare to do different things, because doing normal stuff won't bring you much growth, won't bring you much adventures, won't be, for me, it doesn't bring me joy at all. Once I got a little bit bored, I need to jump to something else. So once I got settled that admin part, let's say. I was having like I remember I got my residency card of 4 years. So I mean, like I'm kind of free to do whatever I want. And it was in May. And I think I resigned and I flew on end of July. So like 2 months later, I was flying to this trip. I will say there is always a part of fear that you will have some points. I mean, you're not doing things like fearless completely. And I'm an introvert person. I always have some part of fear in everything I do, even in entrepreneurship and stuff. Yeah. But you don't have to let fear like manipulate you or like get over you. Just do it, even with fear.
Yeah,
just do it. So it was for me the best adventure ever. And I would ask every young people if he can have that chance to go for a few months. Because for me, let me explain why I have done it also. As I said, like you are having that path, following it like very good girl or a good boy.
Yeah.
Following it, okay, your parents are happy, you check the box, you get your first job contract, you have your first salary, everything is great. And at some point, I feel like you never take time to know who you really are and what you really want.
Yeah.
You never take that time because
it is a journey within.
18, 19, 20 are too young. And then 23, 24, 25. And then at some point, I think you need to take some time. And for me, it was I took that decision of, okay, let's get out of the environment I'm used to it.
Yeah.
And go to somewhere else that I have no references and see, maybe I'll discover something about myself. Not only about the new countries and new cultures and stuff that I was traveling
absolutely. And I think you learn the most about yourself during traveling. It's just something to do with being in a different environment like you did, just getting out of your own comfort. I think that was...
And at the same point, I was like having Eat, Pray, Love in my head and stuff. So like read the book, watched the movie. And I feel like, traveling is the best teacher.
It is. And I'm curious now, who were your role models growing up? Because, you must have some people around you that you saw or looked up to. So who were those people? Even inside the family or outside?
I won't say family. Okay. Definitely not. I'm sorry for that. Family was like my parents and even my surrounding was like very simple background. Like maybe the best of them like has done maybe a master or something or like having a job. And then so that was not an inspiration, to be honest, in my family. But I'll tell you a little story that I found quite funny. I actually learned English with Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, wow.
So I learned it since I was like maybe 11, 12. I was watching her on TV. And I was watching her like religiously almost every day or at least on the weekend and stuff. And I learned English thanks to her. Because I was at first, and I was impressed by that person. Yeah. So for me, it was like the main inspiration, to be honest.
Oh, wow. And that's a great role model.
At some point, I was like, maybe I'm in the media because of because of being like exposed to this. Because I've seen this Black woman in US starting from nothing and get into something.
Yeah.
And at some point I remember she was like the richest woman in the world. And I was like, wow. I mean, how do you build this from that? And then I started discovering from time to time, like really crazy stories about being raped, about that, about this. I was like, what? How this person like came out through all these experiences and managed to be successful, and successful worldwide, not only in America. So it was an inspiration for me as a woman, as a Black woman. So it's like a minority.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like Arab women and stuff. Let's say this minority thing, and this strength that she has on her, and
also using what happened to her in a very powerful way and giving back to humanity as well, because her causes are really good.
So so that was the main inspiration, like when I was a teenager, to be honest. And I was, for me, that was maybe somehow shaped who I am today.
Yeah. So at the age of 20, when you went in your 20s, early 20s, when you went to Paris, what was your take on success and leadership then versus now?
Nothing to do about. Same. Again, we are actually being fed like some stories and some stereotypes, let's call it this way, of success. So for me, was the biggest thing I can get to, it's being an engineer and like get into a big company, being, I don't know, working for Amazon or big international companies, and then jump in the ladder little by little to get up to, I don't know, international director of a business or whatever. So that was for me, like corporate ladder was for me like the biggest metric of success. That's what I was having in mind.
That's what we're all trained.
So we are actually trained this way. So it changed a lot. So in my 20s, 23, 24, 25, maybe after coming back from the trip, I will say, of Asia, I kind of changed my mind about it. I was like, okay, actually there is not only this to be successful. There's not only the corporate ladder to be successful. And I wasn't exposed to entrepreneurship, to be honest, when I was young. Even my grandfather was an entrepreneur, but he has a very bad ending story, like the business just scrolled down and stuff at the end of his life. So it was kind of a taboo in the family. So no one talks about entrepreneurship. You just get the job, get some money or salary, and shut up. That was the main thing. So success definitely changed. For me, success right now, it changed a lot. Maybe it will change tomorrow again. But right now, I feel it's to be able to express your full potential, whatever it is.
Yeah,
you can be an artist. You can change 10 times the career through your lifetime.
That's actually very powerful. No?
That's all. For me, it's like really exploring your full potential. We don't care what you're doing.
And that is what we are doing. I mean, everyone is trying to compete with themselves and trying to become the best version that they can of themselves. So I think that is success. You're right. So when you came back from this trip, you obviously were living in Paris. And I remember in 2019, you started your podcast from your own apartment.
Right.
Is that when you started entrepreneurship or thinking about being an entrepreneur? How was that journey like? And I want to know about the podcast. What made you start it?
Right.
And I remember somewhere you mentioned that obviously the equipment was very mediocre. Of course, it might be very uncertain. What are you doing with this project? So just take me through that journey.
Yeah. So at that point, when I decided to do the podcast, I was working. So I was like working a corporate. That was my third job. It was in logistics and supply chain of like a work site, big work site in Paris. So it was a very mannish environment. It was like, so I wasn't very happy, to be honest, like not very thriving as Sarah.
I get it.
That's where I thought that maybe I have to have like some side project. And also I've been working for EdTech when I was a student actually in Morocco. I always want to have some impact beside like just working and making your life. You're a people's
person, even though you are an introvert. But
I'm an introvert, but I love to. I don't want to be in this world, part of this world, and leave this world without leaving a mark.
Yeah.
At least in someone's soul or life or whatever. So impact for me is really important till today, and that's what actually is driving most of my ventures. At that point, my sister was 16. And I asked her once, she's in Morocco, and I was like, like, what you want to be or do? And she said, like, I don't know, actually. I don't know what is available. I don't know what is possible. I mean, I'll see, whatever. And she's the little one, so she's like kind of not caring. She's not having all the weight and the burden we had at the eldest. So she don't care. So like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever. And actually it stuck with me. And I was like, okay, actually we have a huge problem of role model. I had Oprah Winfrey, thanks God, at that point when I was a teenager. But the teenagers and the youth of, let's say, Arab countries or MENA region, they don't have anyone to look up to, not much.
Yeah.
So there is a problem of identification, and we don't have a role model to follow. That's where actually the podcast starts. Like, okay. And I started actually listening to a lot of podcasts at that point. before I learned, I started it. So I was listening to Jay Shetty.
Yeah.
That was one of the first podcasts that came out in my kitchen while doing the dishes, while cooking. I was like obsessed with podcasts. I was maybe at least 2-3 episodes sometimes per day.
Wow.
And just like feeding some French podcasts about entrepreneurship. So he was having like a lot of entrepreneurs successful, and I felt like you learn so much.
Yeah.
You feel like you are living multiple lives.
Yeah.
And having like the inside of the story and the failure, as you said, and the challenges and the lessons. I was like, why we don't have this? And at that point, actually, when I launched the podcast, I was the first ever Moroccan podcast about entrepreneurship.
Oh wow.
There were no podcasts at that
impact.
point. And we were like 10 podcasts existing at some point. So we were like a small community of 10 Moroccan podcasters. Some of them doing for art, some of them doing for like crimes podcasts. It's like really different.
Wow.
So mine was like the first one in entrepreneurship and the first 10 podcaster in Morocco.
Wow.
So that's why I was like doing only audio. And the idea was really a little bit related to Duckstories and failure and the success definition. It's to really redefine success for these youth, because they don't have enough experience and they don't have enough like background. Exactly. And they don't have enough background to say like, okay, what is really success means.
Yeah.
And I think it's our responsibility once you grow up a little bit to really share and highlight these kind of stories to youth.
Yeah.
So it was, for me, and the idea is to have a Moroccan entrepreneurs in Morocco and alternate it with a Moroccan entrepreneur outside of Morocco. And to redefine that we don't have to go abroad to be successful, and you can still do amazing things in your own country, and really balancing these two.
Yeah.
So in all the podcasts, I was like always alternating. It was like twice a month. So every 2 weeks.
And your audience was completely Moroccan?
Completely Moroccan in 90 countries.
Oh, wow.
Doing like at least like per episode more than 15,000 downloads.
Wow.
And doing like 100% audio. Because I was thinking, as you say, that like how you keep up on like doing the things. And it was no revenue model, no business model. Just like, okay, I want to do this for the community. And maybe it's gonna change someone's life in some point, or change an idea, or change a perspective. And for me, I won. That's the big winning. So I was doing this, and I kept doing it for like 4.5 years, non-stop,
that's
almost.
consistency.
Yeah, so it's just like discipline and moving, and it was so funny because at some jobs, maybe in 2023 or 2022, I was in some meetings in some companies. I was a freelance at that moment. And some people was like, oh, are you Sara from Ejaz podcast? I recognize your voice.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's...
I recognize
your
voice,
right?
Just
Not
the voice.
face.
It's not the face. It's just like we were in meetings with people I don't know. And they were like just slacking me or whatever. Like, okay, are you Sara from Ejaz podcast? Because I kind of recognize your voice. Or sometimes I will go to the restaurant with like friends and friends of friends. It's like, actually, I think I know your voice. And that was for me something that's like, okay, actually, it's really reach out to people that they never met me or they never knew about me, and so it was organically growing because it was only mainly Moroccan and Moroccan diaspora.
Okay.
And it was in Arabic, French, and English mix. So it was very hard to make it.
Yeah. And you mentioned that after 4 years, you had to cut it down, like shut it down, I'm assuming, or... What's the story?
Wasssl is...
Oh, it's a transition.
It's a transition.
Wasssl.
Exactly.
Okay.
I didn't want to kill this project.
Got it. So your audience changed. You pivoted the direction. Got it.
Make it wider geographically.
Got it.
Stick to the English.
Got it.
Because I didn't want to kill that project.
No,
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, actually, I invested like 4 or 5 years. As you say, like I was just having a bird mic.
Yeah.
No camera. I was doing it I was having just a software, Zencaster. I grew up with this software. Actually, it was an MVP at first, and now it becomes like kind of a good software.
You're the early
podcaster. I'm the early adopter of Zencaster. So I worked with Zencaster. At first, they were having only audio, and at some point, they integrate video. So I've seen all the
You've seen it grow. They should give you like lifetime access of it or something.
I don't have it though.
And then, okay, so you mentioned you're a big risk taker, and you quit your job and you went abroad. You took that 6-month or however long trip. But how do you take risks now that you're a little older? Has that changed? And especially because you're an entrepreneur. In entrepreneurship, risk taking becomes very different. Of course, there's a business at stake. So how has that changed?
I feel that you take more risks as you grow. It doesn't go down.
That's
it doesn't
true.
go down because at some point...
But is there any fear now compared to in your early 20s?
Fear is always there. Fear is always there. Maybe a little bit less. But fear is always there. I just ensure that all the entrepreneurs or youth watching us is like, fear will be always there. So just do it. Even like with a lot of fear, do it.
Take the leap.
Do it. So risk is always part of the equation. As you said, as an entrepreneur, you're going to spend sometimes money on things that you will have no return on investment, but you just have to do it because you either have to learn something or do something with it. Being in Pakistan maybe is a risk for like some people.
I was just going to come to that. Actually, this was going to be my next question.
Transition.
What made you transition to Pakistan from Paris? Because you just moved last year, right?
Yeah.
A year and a half,
Yeah,
roughly.
November 2024.
Yeah. We met last year in Ramadan, I believe. Or was it the year before that?
Last year, Ramadan. I came to record in Islamabad.
Yes.
It was just the start, and actually it was the first episodes we've done together. So actually Pakistan, it's my husband is French Pakistani, so we met in Paris. So I have kind of a relationship, but I never came to Pakistan before 2021. So I visited first time 2021. We spent like 1 month. We came with a French delegation, like for business and stuff, and we come with a guy, like he's a billionaire, French billionaire. He wants to invest in fintech here in Pakistan. So we met all the NICs, blah blah blah, some startups. And actually, to be honest with you, I come from a country, Morocco, it's like 37 million people. So we are like Karachi plus.
Yeah.
And when I came to a country that has like 240, 250 million, I was like, what? I was actually quite amazed by the size of the market.
Yeah.
And when you start a little bit thinking of business and stuff, it's like, okay, actually there's maybe a lot of potential in this country, either in services and products. And I felt here that maybe I'll have a big leap, as you say, in terms of your career or your business that you won't have anywhere else.
So that just to pause that thought. So that means Pakistan is not a stopover country, right? It's currently it's your plan.
It's my plan for at least 7 to 10 years, I'd say.
Okay. All right.
I don't know how long it's going to last, but for me, 7 to 10 years to really make something sustainable and contribute. Okay. Again, impact and contribution is definitely the North Star for us in whatever we are doing. So 2021 was the discovery, I say, and the exploration. And when I started thinking about moving out of France, it was either for me coming back to Morocco or going somewhere else. So most of my friends were moving to Dubai, Doha, in Qatar and stuff. But I didn't like, actually, to be honest, the Middle Eastern country. I won't live there. It's good to visit, but I won't live there. I prefer more authentic places and a place with history, with like heritage, and even with the hustle and bustle of Pakistan. But it has some character, and I feel more alive in such places. So this was like, okay, Morocco, it's a very mature market and a small market also. So you need to put out a lot of money to stand out. But then Pakistan, maybe we can you can stand out with much less money and you can really build something that's can last and be sustainable in terms of business wise. So maybe the energy that I will have to put 15 years in Morocco, I just have to put it Pakistan 5 to 7 years.
Makes sense.
So it's a pragmatism thinking. It's like, okay, let's just focus on that with like all the ups and downs, and we're gonna do this and we're gonna get this, and we have also to be part, I mean, where you can bring the most value also.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, Pakistan is definitely where we can bring the most value from our experiences in Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's do it. I mean, I'm an adventurer, I'm a risk taker. So we're going to do it fully right now.
Wonderful. And happy to hear that. And I'm just happy that people like you are coming to this country and investing in it as well. So that's good to hear. How has these cross-cultural exchanges and experiences change the way you think about innovation and entrepreneurship? Because of course there is a difference in how Paris, for instance, operates when it comes to the startup ecosystem as compared to here. So what's your overall experience like?
Actually, I don't know if we have another question around Wasssl and stuff, but
there is a question on Wasssl, so I'll ask you.
But I feel I've been in the entrepreneurial ecosystem also in France, because from 2016 to 2020, I was working. And then 2021, I started the entrepreneurial journey in France. So I've been around all the tech ecosystem at Station F. And I built my own startup in education that failed miserably. It was during COVID, no funding. It was a bad idea. It was a bad good idea. The bad good idea that you think you're gonna save the world, but it's not the good thing to start with as a first.
Was it like an idea that wasn't validated, or
it was too idealistic, let's say. It was actually what we started with. I mean, I started entrepreneurship for the wrong reason first.
Okay.
I thought it was just sexy to be entrepreneur, but it's not. I just wanted to do something by myself, but without really thinking of like who I am engaging with as a co-founder or team, for what kind of product, what we are doing, what is the business model. I was just like getting excited of like being entrepreneurs. Like, oh, it's nice to be entrepreneur. And it was the case actually at some point, even in US and Europe. Like there is some entrepreneurs who just like fake entrepreneur, let's say. They just like, it's pitch deck entrepreneurs, they call it. So it's just like you have a nice pitch deck, you have maybe a good school in your background, and you're gonna be like raising some money, blah 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 and stuff. So it was this sexy ideas I was having in mind that I fall in love. So I was just following that. So it was for a very bad reason first, and second, the product was like it was a EdTech platform for refugees to help them integrate in like the society. But it was B2G, so you need to work with government, very long sales funnel. It was not the right thing to start with as a first experience, I say. I mean, for me, to be an entrepreneur as a first experience, it's better to start with something almost obvious, or something that you know how you're going to make money from day one.
And like a very big mass audience.
Yeah, and into the point. And that's the thing it was just... And it was maybe also this fairy tale of impact, of like saving the world I was having in mind. So it was a lot of things that go bad in this venture. But I learned a lot. That's where I discovered product management in IT. So
okay.
That's where I switched to product management. So after 2 years of just struggling and a big failure, I'll say, for the venture at least, I just decided to kill the baby, actually. So for me, technology in Paris is definitely different from here. Definitely. And what I like about this region, it's a lot more real. Entrepreneurship is more real. It's down to earth. It's like solving a real problem. Otherwise, you'll know that you're going to die the next day.
Yeah.
Unlike, as we said, like in Europe or US, where you can play around for a while and get in some money and then it's dead and then okay. But here you have a choice. It's like a survival mode activated when you choose entrepreneurship. That's for me the big difference. And I think our countries, either Morocco or Egypt or Pakistan, needs this,
Yeah.
needs these innovators, needs these survivors
Yeah.
to move forward with the economy, with the country, with the digitization and technology wave.
Yeah.
We need to own it.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a choice. We're not gonna wait for Americans or Europeans to make solution for us.
Yeah.
We need to find our own solution for our own problems.
And so Wasssl, and you're doing great with Wasssl in that area as well. I want to know, Wasssl became more of a movement now. How would you describe that in one sentence?
Oh, I'm actually flattered they say it's a movement. But the idea, it's been just 1 year now that we started in Pakistan. And as we were saying earlier, I didn't want to kill the podcast project that I made almost for 5 years. And I want to transit to something wider geographically. And I really do see Middle East and North Africa as a hub.
Yeah.
So for me, we have almost the same economies. We have some specificity, definitely. So for me, Wasssl is like really bringing insight-based ecosystem to the front. That's the thing. We're not a database ecosystem, unlike Europe and US again and again and again. The Silicon Valley playbooks are not working for us. When you see, I mean, like I was talking to Kalpay, let's say from here, from Pakistan, and they were following at first Klarna model, how they develop the business and stuff like, and they failed miserably at the first. So for me, that's what I was saying also to my friends and the community. It's like put in I don't know, when you were like kids, put in the circle in like a triangle and it doesn't fit, and just like being stubborn but it doesn't fit. That's how I feel the tech ecosystem from our region, and like importing solutions on just like getting inspiration, let's say. Maybe inspiration is not bad, but we need to build for our region with the mindset of our region. And that's for me what we are actually trying to bring with Wasssl.
I'm a firm believer of this as well, because even when starting out in the startup ecosystem some years ago, we also realized that we can't really just copy paste everything from there. It doesn't work. We have our own culture, we have our own case studies,
our own challenges.
Our own challenges, exactly. So you obviously host startups like Kalpay and other founders or entrepreneurs. Was there a story or anyone in particular that you interviewed that really changed your view about entrepreneurship?
I think Munis Rahman. He was one of who has Rosie and Dukan. He was one of the first warriors.
Monis Rahman.
Yeah. He was one of the first warrior of the Pakistani ecosystem. And actually his story really stick with me, with like really planting seeds, I'll say, and waiting for them for like 10 years, 15 years, things to happen. And this will never happen in Europe or US. So it's a lot of resilience. It's a lot of resilience, and there is no other choice. There is no other choice. You just need to be patient and find maybe your way around to survive till it clicks at some point in the ecosystem or for your business or for your solution, if you are on the right path, of course.
And so with having interviewed all of these founders, what is that invisible challenge that you feel like we Pakistanis as entrepreneurs face that is not communicated? It is sort of like an unsaid thing.
I won't say just for Pakistan, but maybe for all the region. It's loneliness. Big loneliness. If you feel like everyone still struggling by itself, and the CEO, for example, or the founder has that big burden of like making things work and hiring the team and having the right people around and having the partners and maybe securing some funding and securing the business and so it's like a lot of loneliness that I feel right now sometimes, to be honest.
I get it.
Especially now my team is mainly Wasssl, so they are working remotely, so you feel that loneliness, and sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you're fed up, and sometimes you just want to cry. So because for me, loneliness, I don't know how we have to solve it for our region especially, but we need to find a way to at least relieve it a little bit.
No, the community was very strong in Pakistan as well, and I think with after COVID, probably people are more comfortable doing digital, like working in digital spaces than more communal. I do think, and I do remember we discussed something of this sort in when I came over at your podcast. We were discussing a community platform for entrepreneurs as well.
I would love to. It's still on my plans. It's still on my plans because I feel sometimes, I don't know if it's a lot of resilience, but I feel here in Pakistan especially, they will say, okay, it's all good, alhamdulillah. But they won't talk the real talk, I say, especially men between each other. Maybe women a little bit less. They can maybe, okay, actually it's not going well. My business, like it's, I don't know, slowing down or whatever. Maybe women are more open to share.
Yeah.
But I feel men don't.
Yeah.
And it's actually just slowing all the ecosystem down.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why this platform Duckstories also came about, because we really wanted to bring people and talk about the failures and talk about what's not working.
Yeah, what's not working. I think it's more important of what's working, because we do celebrate on LinkedIn, as you say, then okay, we've done this, we've done that. That's great. But we need to share a little bit more what's not working. I'm stuck in this or that. Can someone help?
Yeah.
Or can someone let me know if they faced similar situation maybe and that's why Wasssl also is there, but I'm still like trying to figure out how we can make it more impactful to really not having entrepreneurs reinventing the wheel every time and learning from each other really as much as possible.
Sara, was there a time when you decided to quit Wasssl, or any of, like, I'm sure you did have that failed startup for various other reasons, but
all the time. all the time.
So do you think of going back to like a working job?
Back? No, I won't. I can't. Okay. Actually, when I had my startup failed in France, I was feeling depressed, not because, I mean, a little bit because the startup, I had to kill the baby, as we say.
Yeah.
But also the biggest depression came out of like, oh my God, I need to come back to the corporate job. So I was like, I don't want to come back to the corporate job. So it was a part of the depression that I had. So no, definitely not. I'm not coming back. Maybe I'll do different businesses. But I feel it's like exactly what I shared with you. I think I just need to have some patience. But the only problem in such markets that are a little bit hard in terms of cash flow and stuff, you need to find a way to survive.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind to be patient, but I need to find a way to survive and paying the salaries and at least be a break-even situation.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's for me the main challenge when you are like trying to figure out maybe the revenue model or having a sustainable way to manage the business on the long term. If you have a big mission, of course.
Yeah.
So this big mission comes with like the downside part is like, okay, how are we going to fund this on the long term? And that's where I guess the big companies and the banks and the maybe the big tech companies has to step in and maybe support these initiatives, not only mine, but I mean thousands of initiatives that maybe exist, because I think it's important for the community and it's important for the ecosystem to grow, because otherwise it's just like, okay, it's good to do business, but it's good also to learn and make the ecosystem learn from each other and
absolutely,
and have this positive cycle installed in the ecosystem.
So if you could whisper one truth in our startup founders, what would that be? What is that, like an advice of sorts or your experience?
Even if it doesn't work, just keep the things going on. Keep the things going on. Keep the passion. Keep the patience there, because it's the only thing that fuels you. And don't stop, but take a rest and come back again.
Taking a rest is good. Actually, that's good advice, because the hustle culture is there.
So there, people
forget to like just unwind and just take a break.
Take just a small rest, even if you take 1 month rest and just come back and you will be in a better shape.
Yeah. And Sara, before we close, so I could go on and talk to you about a lot of things, but I really just want to close on, what does the future 3 to 5 years look like for Wasssl and for you personally in Pakistan?
So for me, Wasssl, actually, I've seen it because in Arabic, Wasssl means bridge or link. And actually, I see it as a bridge, like a real bridge to market expansion, to investment and talent mobility in the region. So I really want to build around this. We actually just started a little hint. We just started like this service part talking about survival. And I brought the first Moroccan tech company to Pakistan.
Oh, wow.
Last week.
Wow, congratulations.
So
that's big.
They came for business exploration. So they are in health tech in Morocco. And that's for me the dream. It's really to having companies moving around in the region and moving safely.
Yeah.
And with a very clear idea in mind, because Egypt is not like Pakistan, it's not like Morocco, it's not like Tunisia or whatever. So the idea is to really support in this ecosystem to move from a country to another. And as I said, it's for us, it's like
safe
building
landing.
solutions, cross solution in the region. So that's for me the dream. It's really that vision of having like not only one or two companies, but having hundreds of companies crossing the regions, helping Pakistani companies to go to Saudi or to Egypt or Africa. So that's the big vision of Wasssl, inshallah. So we'll hope that we get to contribute it in somehow. And for myself, it's just adventures. Pakistan is going to be a big, a hell of a ride, let's say. And I'll say it in the positive way. So I'm just like having adventures all the time. And if Wasssl will move its way around, and I have another business going on, and maybe some 3 or 4 other businesses that we are actually still thinking of. So there is a lot of.
So just expansion,
I told you it's like Pakistan is a land of opportunity, a land of opportunity.
No, thank you so much, Sara. This was interesting. I really got to know a lot about you this time around, and I'm happy that I got to know, and really excited about your plans for whatever is going to happen in Pakistan, and the supporting startups in the MENA region as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Cynia, for having me.